Hey there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. In the last part, we finished up the 3.4 story, had a massive lore dump, and now it's time to do the 3.4 endgame. Let me Google that for let me Google that for you. Now here's the adventure I was looking for. I've got a job that needs doing, and something tells me you'd be just the one to do it. Now stop me if I've got this wrong. The little bird told me you've been in and out of the Great Gubal Library, and that a walking, talking broom of all things showed you the way in. Well, I suppose the latter bit's neither here nor there. Long story short, a certain personage has something they want from that library, a hefty leather-bound tome to be exact, and they've tasked me with finding the right woman to retrieve it. There's just one rub. Seems some heedless interloper. Mind you, I'm not looking to point fingers here. Left the doors to the forbidden vaults wide open, allowing what seems like every void sin and sorcerer abomination in the encyclopedia Eorzea to saunter right in. Way to reference a thing that actually exists. It probably came out right around here too. Right mess, I'm sure you agree. Fortunately, the strapping lass standing in front of me knows the place like the back of her hand. I just need you to make like your broom friend sweep out the nasties and retrieve the tome from my client. Simple enough, right? I'll meet you there. Alright, let's go down to the Great Gubal Library. I love I still have not gotten Sephiroth Mountain. Ah, there you are. Good to see a woman who doesn't shy away from a challenge. You'll see a sturdy-looking door just ahead and to your left. That'd be the entrance to the Forbidden Vaults. This is as far as I can take you. It's in my contract, you see. Anyhow, my client and I are both counting on you to retrieve that tome. Watch your back in there and try to keep it down. It is a library, after all. Nothing like having to fly into the middle of nowhere to finish your map. Jeez. There it goes. I was like, I would be surprised if there is not a thing up there. Finally! Sephiroth Mount. Finally. Of course it's Tank. Of course it's Tank. 11 minutes in queue for healer. Or with a healer. Nothing. And still Tank. And now we have an AFK DPS. Alright, Great Gubal Library card. Ooh, we have a dance number. Nice. Quickly now! I'm over here! So, for the first bit, this is going to be pretty similar to original Gubal. I totally single targeted the wrong attack. also appear to have a friend. Hello. So yeah, pretty similar. Just less walkways having to appear because they're kind of already here. There are going to be a couple books around that we can read eventually. But for now, you do have to clear those two holes to open up this pathway up here. Yeah, like I said, this is all, it's already all good to go. And of course, we have this room of Love's Unrequited. I have a friend! Yay! I like friends. Friends are cool. Hoping now with these guns we didn't have to run out there. That didn't come out. I didn't know which enemy was doing it. Oh. Okay, what the heck? Demon of the Tome. This looks very familiar. Except that seems to be further back in the room. Also, it's not really sticking well in that book. I sense foul magics here because it's on illusion. We actually fight a demon that was hiding in a tome. So, Demon of the Tome. Really not much to say. I'm gonna go over this side. So it's gonna use Folio multiple times. Folio is gonna place down these AoEs. If you're in them, you take massive amounts of damage. If you're not, you just get a little knockback. You take way less damage. Also, attack, oh well. Another Folio. I believe this one's gonna be on the outer, so we're gonna want to be inside. No, I'm wrong. Okay, that's where we go on the inside. So now these books are going to appear on the edges, and they're going to smash into the middle. And yeah, that's basically this fight. Not much more to say about it. Is this another Folio, or is it just... Yeah, it is. Oh! I guess there is this move. So this is gonna be a piece-by-piece attack. You just want to be standing not when between the books are about to crush. Really. I forgot about that attack. Now that was the basics of that fight! Yeah. The loads. So instead of the demon tomes on the ground here this time, oh, the answer's gonna kind of just charge in. Over here. So yeah, instead of the demon tomes, we're just gonna have regular enemies here. Nothing too much about this. Except on this particular pole, see, they've already made the run of this place. Fire! Fire in the library! Yeah, so this Bibliocast is going to appear along with 2 fire homunculi, and they're going to cause a spot that is on fire. If you walk into it, you will get a 15-second burn? That sounds right. Dead, of course. You are free to progress. I'm gonna go grab this treasure chest. head on forward. I think there's another chest up here. Yeah, right over here. So that was the way we went before, so now we have to find another way around. And I guess I could've... Oh, that's just a book. I thought it was an actual thing. Anyway. We have a bunch of things here. These forbidden tomes appear as you walk in this room. I kind of missed it because I was off grabbing treasure. Yeah, I remember when I first did this. This was back when I was playing Summoner, like I mentioned in Waiting City. I was like being told, make sure you AoE, and this was before Summoner really had a good AoE spell. All we had was making the damage over time effects, our dot spells go AoE, and that was like maybe I think there was something else, but it was kind of cruddy. So Liquid Flame, this will look very familiar. Yes, this is an FF5 reference, and also Pepsi Man that we fought before in Alexander. So fire version of that. The Biblio side, I believe, is just a basic AoE. Sea of Flames is Ifrit's move, and I had one tracking me, of course. I'm sorry. And I have a line attack on me. So that is a what did you call it? God, I'm totally blanking on it. But yeah, it's a line attack dash on you where you take less distance the further away you are. Alright, so it's gonna change into the hand here. We need to go on to the Moon Seal, and no one went on to the Sun one because they were like not going to the ones where the left. Yeah, you go to the one that is lit up, that has the same seal as what is above you. That kind of sucks that I'm like. And I believe there's also magnetism, like in the Alexander watery one, but yeah. Other than that, that is Liquid Flame. Back for revenge from Final Fantasy XIV. Oh, hello. I'm sorry I walked too far forward. Please forgive. So, Pirogos! Yeah, Pirogos are in here. These Pirogos, not much to say about them, really. Just trash enemies. Water 3. I'd have probably done that, but... Alright, this room can be a little bit of a mess. There's a treasure to offer right to the left here and at the end of the room. I'm gonna go for this treasure coffer first. So these scribes are gonna come to life from the statues along the side. However, of course, not all at once. Again, still remember being told, make sure you AoE! Yeah. Mechano Scribe, so there's Mechano Scribes. Mechano Scribes have a Blue Mage spell, Condensed Libra. That's actually one of 2 blue magic spells in here. This particular dungeon. Alright, now the last 4 are going to come to life on us. Probably should have. that's too late now. Yeah, so these mechanical scribes do have a blue mage spell, kinetically, where it's okay. I've kind of stopped using it myself. Others use it, but you know, I'm totally about to level up. Alright, and yeah, you know I mentioned there's 2 spells here. We're at the end of the dungeon, and there's literally 2 fights left. Well, this is the other blue mage spell. Off of a panda! Yes, we're going hardcore FF5. So, a panda teaches magic hammer. Like so. Magic Hammer on Blue Mage recovers 1000 MP and does damage and also gives them the cost effect. Lowers their magic attack, I think, and magic defense, something like that. It's cool. I mean, it's a MP recovery, so. Anyways, enough Blue Mage talk. We aren't playing Blue Mage here. I just like to mention it when I at least know it. But we are at the end. We are at the last boss. All about checking out books and properties of elements. So Strix, it's initially going to start out doing, well, check out. As I said, all about checking out books. Yes, I believe this is the perfect volume for you. You are welcome here. This you know, yet your thirst for knowledge brings you nonetheless. I'll be happy to oblige. So you're going to see all these floating panels that you might happen to remember from Circus Tower. Also, you're about to see what happens if you're not floating. Yeah, you get stunned and vulnerability stack. Literally from Circus Tower, just less damage. And so Strix is gonna... What's this? Theories on the existence of river imps? This piqued my interest. So yeah, it's gonna actually place 2 different kinds this time. You got these creepy dark ones, and you've got these light, watery ones. Also worth noting that I mentioned imps. So when you see properties of tornadoes, you want to be in here, otherwise you get knocked into the air. And yeah, that what just happened to them. Oh, thank you. On the properties of imps, so as soon as this goes off, you want to book it for, boom, one of those, because you need, particularly you need to get rid of that lightning resistance down, but also you're an imp and you can't do anything. So because the reason we do that is because, well, that's the thing. Yeah, you can't do anything as an imp. We're actually gonna see this. I was prepared to literally just have to explain this. Behold, the legend, grimoires of legend, feel their power and puissance, and let it fill you with a rapturous pleasure, and die. So this is gonna summon the Heavensward, which is gonna do meteors all around, comets, and yada yada. So right now we're just kind of dodging. Unfortunately, all the meteors are on the other side. So, it was casting Ecliptic Meteor there. I kind of just killed it because I didn't want to deal with running to the other side of the arena. You have to be, like in Labyrinth of the Ancients, you have to be hiding behind a meteor to not get destroyed by the meteor. After the Behemoth stage, he literally starts looping the different elements. He'll do either tornado or quakes, and then imp over and over and over. Just check out, repeat, and so on and so forth. Oh, I just got Hands Tackle! Oh man, now I'm gonna really cry. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that. So, oh gosh, enhanced tackle, now I get to explain that. But yeah, so after the behemoth, it literally just starts looping over and over and over again. Oh, I got a commendation. I don't think the behemoth ever comes back. We kind of didn't wait a lot around long enough to find out, but I think the behemoth is literally just the transitional thing that happens with it. That's like transitioning into. I hope you learned those mechanics in the first half. Now you have to do them again. Well, look who's back and looking none the worse for wear, I might add. Well, what did you find in there? And there it is, or at least I think it is. To tell you the truth, those old dusty tomes are all the same to me. Still certainly looks impressive, which I reckon should count for something. Anyhow, I best get that one person who can tell us one way or another. Don't go wandering off. I'll be right back. And you must be the adventurer who procured the tome at our behest. I am Yayake of the Thaumaturgist Guild, and on behalf of my eminent colleagues, I thank you. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Pray, let me see this volume you have retrieved, that I might confirm this is the self-same tome that we have so long sought. Fiends and Fairies, 1001 Immolation Incantations, Out of the Wood, a catalog of extra-dimensional visitors and preferred methods for their extermination. Gods be good, it's finally ours, the Great Gubal Library Index! Index? You mean this book you've been searching for so hard for is just some oversized list of other books? Just a list of books? Why, this is a comprehensive catalog of each and every tome and epistle housed within the single greatest repository of knowledge this realm has ever known. The Charlians built this bastion of erudition and scholarly inquiry that Eorzea might benefit from wisdom compiled through the ages, only to see its treasures gathered dust, their pages seen by none but the monstrosities that now haunt its halls. Would see the library restored to its former glory, and ascertain the full breadth and scope of its contents is a modest but most necessary first step. If the library were rebuilt, we'd see aspiring scholars flocking from all corners of Eorzea, which would go a long way to build an Idleshire into a real town. Whatever me and mine can do to lend a helping hand, you just say the word. That is most heartening indeed. Doubtless the reconstruction process will entail no small amount of menial labor in addition to the more intellectual duties that will be seen to by my colleagues and me. Why, to think of the ever-surpassing heights of sheer destructive power that we might one day achieve has my hand simply shaking in anticipation. The road ahead will be long, but thanks to you, we will take our first steps down it. Pray take this as a token of my gratitude. A whole 5,000 gil! Woo! Alright, next step is let's head over to Heavensward. So, anyways, enhanced tackle that I got at the end there, for my level 66 job trade. That simply makes it so I now have 2 shoulder tackles I can do. Which means if I'm trying to hold one to get up to the boss, I can still use one for damage! Or if I know that there's 2 things where I'm going to have to get back up to the boss coming in a row, I can hold both of them. Usually I just hold one. Yeah, it's going to be painful to be at level 60 because it's like, oh, I really, really, really like having the 2 shoulder tackles. It's so nice. Because it's literally just another off your global cooldown ability that you can do. Anyways, let's head into the Rising Stones. I hope I'm going to the right place. Should be. It should be. I just need to ignore that quest over there. I need to go for this quest up here. The fate of stars. I am a troubled warrior of light. The 6th Legion will not soon surrender its pursuit of elegant technology. While it is true that the 6th Legion, 6 suffered heavy losses in attempting to breach Azus Law's defenses, the Legion is still very much a force to be reckoned with. Left to its own devices, it will not be long before the Legatus moves to... Pray excuse the interruption, but the call to this link world can only come from one of your fellow Scions. Archon Ishtola! What news? And you are quite certain that they have broken through? Yes, of course. We shall leave immediately. It seems that the thing I feared most has come to pass. The Guardians have succeeded in dispelling the barrier Urianger placed upon the entrance to the research facility. We must intercept and destroy them before they acquire the means to control primal entities. Archon Ishtola requests that we assemble at the scene of the intrusion. Pray depart at once. I will join you and have informed the other Scions of this development. I see we are the first to arrive. No matter, your colleagues should be here anon. They were wise indeed to keep this area under surveillance. Had the Guardians slipped by unnoticed, I dare not think of the consequences. Archon Ishtola set forth for Azus Law when it became apparent that the Legatus was attempting to breach the barrier. We were to find that he had succeeded. We must hope that he has yet to find his prize. Well met, Ulukahai, and thank you for answering my summons so swiftly, Arya. We shall be glad of your presence should we meet with the 6th Legion, as seems all but certain. As you may be aware, this facility houses some of Alec's most advanced technology. Accordingly, Urianger sought to deny the Empire easy ingress by waving a ward of singular potency. Not singular enough, it would seem. I would be surprised if the Legatus had not reached the core laboratories already. 'Tis passing strange, although the war in accordance with the most closely guarded teachings of the Archmages of Charlian, not was left to chance. Not. 'Tis well known that the children of Garlemald have no talent for arcane manipulation, nor hath the Empire more than a cursory knowledge of sorcery. That they should succeed in unraveling so complex a skein of magecraft, and with surpassing swiftness, and with such surpassing swiftness is, 'tis passing strange. Now it is Urianger, but it is a mystery for another day. Archon Ishtola has the right of it. Before all else, we must move to safeguard the knowledge which enable the Alecans to harness primal energies. A particular concern is the Genesis expression, an etherochemical formula that allowed the scholars of war to create substance from nothingness. I know of no such formula. Whence came you by this information? From your enigmatic master, perchance? He did furnish me with a morsel, yes, and knowing exactly which prize the Legatus now seeks enabled us to predict his position. Do you not see? We have been gifted the perfect opportunity to remove the head of the entire Legion! I didn't think you quite so bloodthirsty, Ulukahai. Surely safeguarding secrets should take precedence over slaying Legatuses? Carl's sentiments reflect my own, yet the two objectives need not be mutually exclusive. What say you, Urianger? Urianger? Ah, forgive me. My thoughts were bound up in idle imaginings. In answer to thy question, my lady, I am content to lead by thee in this matter. To be led by thee in this matter. Yeah, reading! Right, I've enabled the facility's transporters. Shall we? You dwell on the matter of the barrier. I do. Verily, 'twas a warding spell of labyrinthine intricacy. The branch held the head of the student's Beltesian himself. Even the most learned Archon would require several moves to disentangle such an enchantment. To do it in mere bells would require some preternatural power akin to the very echo itself. We appear to have a solo instance. Facility has been activated. Prepare to teleport to the etherochemical into the ARF. What am I doing actually saying it out? Into the ARF! The Guardians strike for the heart of the facility, and the Legata spearheads their charge. We must be swift in our pursuit. Are you guys literally just following me? Are you sure that's what you want to do? At least for, I guess, in the later part of the arc. Y'all got this? I don't have to. This toll is just wasting time casting Stone Skin. So... which no longer exists, you cheater! Alright. Yeah, Lugaeus himself is here! After him! Nope. Hello! Cool, I got this. Okay, I don't got this. I shall contend with this fool. Press onwards, my friends. Okay. Bye, Oriange. Ah, thanks. Go that way. There! It's Van Hydrus!
In the name of the Emperor!
Hello. Oh, my formless fist literally wore off right there, didn't it? What? What is still on me? What? Ow! Arya, Kryle needs you! Mistress Kryle! Go! I'll stand guard over Mistress Kryle. You must keep the Legatus from his prize. We leave her in your care then. You best keep her safe, Unukahai. You better be following me, Shola. Yeah, you are. Ah, Colossus! This ain't fair. Man, gone a long way from needing 7 other people to kill one of these, huh? Now I can just solo one. Sorta. I guess I still have someone else with me, but... point is... I guess I can't actually kill it. Inside barrier. The central laboratory should be up ahead. Let's hurry along, shall we? After the Legatus. And still they come. Press on, Arya. I will handle this. I have exposed the bones of their work, now to extract the marrow. Even in the moment of my triumph, you persist in your misguided crusade. So be it. I shall present my prize to the Emperor alongside your head. Will you now? Will you now? Alright, let's fight Leanna's all on her own? Yeah, makes sense. Shoulder tackle. My only one. Side here. Go to the back here. Go to the side here.
Can you
Out.
extend
So that's about to go. Terminus X. Est.
this? There is nowhere to run.
Yeah, I had to get out there. Alright. Hey, do you mind not
Can you
doing that?
extend this?
Seriously. Do you mind not
Can you
doing that?
extend this?
I can withstand it because you're not even hitting me! The only way you hit me is if I'm standing in that bleed. My weapons inhibitor is this for a reason, but I will not lose to you again. Alright, Servant Enkindle. Let's go ahead, take this thing out before it goes boom, because I'm pretty sure it going boom means we lose. And I'd rather not if it's all the same. I guess we just, it's another 1%.
Enough.
Yeah, it does like nothing because we brought down the 1%. And we win! You can't hope to win. Well, too bad. I did win. I did hope to win, and I won. So... Arya! The Tome is unbreached then? Cryle. My wounds will not slow my blade should you seek to bar my path. And you would slay me, no doubt, but it would be your final act. What madness afflicts you, Eorzean fools, the Emperor, but desires and means to shackle the icons in their destructive appetites. Why do you rail against your own salvation? It is not for man to wield such power. The primal energy your Emperor seeks to contain would be as kindling waiting for a spark. Forget not the White Raven, Legatus. Like thee, he presumed to wield the power of Alec and invited calamity in so doing. This star's fate is too important to be decided by any one man, a warmongering savage least of all. Have care, boy. You speak of my Emperor. But dying here in defense of his honor will not further his cause. Well, appear not to be dead. Ow! Kyle. I may have cracked a rib or two, but I'll be fine, honestly. Our foes gave no quarter. Had Unokahai stinted in his defense of thee, thou mayest be certain thy hurts would be far worse. I could do no less. Mistress Carl is here at my behest, after all. The secrets of Alec are safe for the present, though 'tis doubtful the Legatus will return to Garlemald till the prize he coveted lieth in his grasp. Then we must redouble our efforts to protect this place. Carl and I will place additional seals upon the Tome. Okay. I appreciate you staying at my side. Thank you. It was not. Oh, please. It was a good deal more than that, and you know it. Now let me help you. When a woman thanks you for saving her life, the customary response is, "You're welcome." You are welcome. Are the new wards already in place? My colleagues yet toil upon their enchantments. I come unto thee in secret, that I might question thee outside their hearing. Question me? I would speak with the one who undid my subtlest magecraft, he who invited an imperial legatus into this facility in hope of engineering the man's demise at the hands of the warrior of light. You accuse me of masterminding this day's events? The plan may have been thy master's, but the deed was thine. Thou didst lure the legatus of the Sixth Legion into a trap from which he was not intended to emerge. 'Tis plain to me now that thy seeming opportunism in proposing his elimination was vain, and that his death was the object of thy plan from the first. And you have proof of this? Thine own words betrayed thee. Thou didst speak of the Empire's desire to claim the Genesis expression, the existence of which even the learned Mistress Cryle was ignorant. Whence did the legatus come by such definitive knowledge? And then there is the matter of mine unraveled ward. None save one possessed of an otherworldly gift could have so swiftly effected its dissolution. Know thee of another blessed with such? Assuming these accusations have merit, what then? Full many times and oft doth the pursuit of truth lead men down darkened paths. I take no issue with thy purpose. 'Tis but thy method I would call into question. In the Garlean Empire we have a common foe. Hadst thou deigned to share thine intentions with Arya or Mistress Cryle, 'tis like that we would have closed the trap with less risk to life and more success. I sought to use the most dangerous secrets of Alec as bait. Who among you would agree to such a reckless plan? None, and with good cause. Irrespective, thou wert remiss in thy duty to thy comrades. I note with some disappointment that in matters concerning the primals and those who would control them, the cold rationality upon which thou so pridest thyself is conspicuous by its absence. Know that the salvation of the star is an end too vast for any one of us to accomplish alone. Shouldst thou fail to trust in thy comrades, I foresee thy actions precipitating some terrible misfortune. Indeed. My sincerest apologies, Arya. Uriel J is correct his suspicions. It was I who orchestrated this encounter with the Empire. I would ask that thou forgive Ulugahai of his transgression. Keep mention of it from Mistress Cryle. 'Twould be a pity for one foolish decision to wither their budding camaraderie ere it had a chance to bloom. There you are, you rotten idler! When Ishtola realized we were struggling with the wars alone, she was absolutely livid! Ah, never mind the Warring Triad. I have awoken Archon Ishtola's tempestuous wrath. In supplicant mood shall I return at once and there atone for mine insolence. Come, Arya, it is time to return to the Rising Stones. Once again, I must apologize for acting without your consent or counsel. As a gesture of repentance and a sign of good faith, allow me to share something of myself with you. As Uriel J suggested, I possess the gift of the Echo, though it is of a nature different than yours. Regardless, I would use my gift for the selfsame purpose, the salvation of this star, and nothing poses a greater threat to the world than the proliferation of primal harnessing technology. This I know only too well. What I am about to divulge concerns the fate of another star entirely. On this other world, a magic was devised that allowed the realm's champions to use a stone known as Orosite to contain the power of primals. So armed, these heroic souls conquer god after god, oblivious to their weapons' fatal imperfection. Its propensity to bleed the primal energies, and with each victory the heroes change, transforming at last into fiends of endless appetite. Insatiable in their hunger for ether, they ultimately went to war over the star's ever-dwindling life force, and fought until there was nothing left. Thus, as Uriel so astutely observed, when I am faced with those who rush to embrace power unchecked, I lose all semblance of rationality. Know that my master, too, cares deeply about the fate of this star. I am his servant, his instrument, sent here to ensure that the same tragedy does not consume another world. Whew. Balance unto all. Warrior of Light, if this world is to survive, we must needs move forward with our plan. Another pillar of the Warring Triad must be toppled. The question of which has already been answered. Following our encounter with the Legatus, Archon Ishtola detected erratic etheric waveforms emanating from the sector containing the icon Sophia, known simply as the Goddess in former times. Such readings can mean only one thing. She is close awakening. Let us return to Az's law forthwith and put an end to the primal deity, lest she rise again in all her terrible glory. Back and forth, back and forth. We appear to be the first to arrive. Shall we wait our colleagues here? Could the Sixth Legion have returned? Arya! Oh my god! We're under attack! Ishtola and Uriel have engaged the foe not far from here. What? Rarely is my shield thus tested, to assume the Alligans have not been lax in the recruitment. Think you so? Mayhap your arm merely withered whilst you lay idle. Still your tugs, we have stalled them long enough. With scales in hand, the goddess shall rise, and righteously cast off her cursed paw, that she, with wrathful Worm King at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all. Hear my words in despair, Alligans. Our goddess is awoken. Your civilization has birthed the instruments of its own undoing. 'Tis well you are here, Arya. I should like to know what our assailants were saying. You understood their words, did you not? "'Twas a Mericidian dialect, if mine ears do not deceive, the one which beareth scant resemblance to any spoken in recent times. As for our antagonist's meaning, I do gladly defer to those blessed with the echo." The one with the shield seemed to think we were Alligans. He recited what sounded like a verse of prophecy, then claimed that their goddess is awoken. Is that about right, Arya? And might we assume that this deity of theirs is the very icon we've come to topple? Aye, from their tongue, their words, and their attire, 'tis like their antagonists were Mericidian, thralls to the Goddess Sophia and victims of the Alligans' incursions. If, as Crowd claimeth, they thought us agents of Allig, 'tis little wonder that they sought to bring us low. You suggest that Sophia's servants have been liberated from their containment? We have no choice but to accept word of her awakening as truth. Ew. Gods help us! The Warring Triad had proved formidable enough when we roused them with a fraction of their true strength. Should Sophia break free at the peak of her powers, Arya and her friends won't stand a chance. Let us be about it then, Arya. Cryo and Nikahai, the three of you will make directly for Sophia's containment facility. Urianger and I will do what we can to occupy the Icon's thralls. Mistress Cryo, do you perchance recall the words of the prophecy in its entirety? Let me see. I believe it was, "With scales in hand the goddess shall arise, and righteously cast off her cursed pall, that she, with wrathful working at her side, might judge and thence bring balance unto all." Containment Bay P1T6 is now accessible. So, Sephiroth's was S. Sophia's is P, because they didn't want to do another S, I guess? Anyways, let's go cue that up after I get a drink, because it's been over an hour and I haven't refilled my drink. Oh my gosh. 8-minute queue. What the heck? What the heck is going on?
I leave the goddess in your capable hands. Just watch out for her worshippers.
Goddess, aka Sophia. I was ready for a tank to just charge in.
Enlightened come.
Well, sorta. Also, she talks! Yay. I don't have to. So, Sophia, obviously only the tank up wants to be out front. Arrow 2 is an AoE around her. And then she'll follow it up with Thunder 3, which is an AoE where you want to be up close or really far out. If you're a ranged character. I try and go far out if I'm a ranged character, just because how I like to do it. Quasar!
Know you the full weight of death.
Proximity, AoEs. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, proximity, when it was the line attack. Will target onto 2 random people. She will now teleport away and do a dash across half of the arena. You do not want to be in front of her, and that is exactly why. Keep on turning around for me, XD. Alright, Sintamani is just a basic AoE. Cloudy Heaven. I think she's about to go away. Yep, Eternal Doom. So we will want to take out, I believe, the second first? I want to say the second is the first one you want to take out here. Because the second has a annoying look away. Ring of Pain is going to put a persistent frost attack, or frost AoE thing, on the ground. And now she's going to ultimate, and we're going to phase change.
I would know the weight of your souls.
Welcome to her main mechanic. Balance unto all. Also, the barriers are now gone. God damn it, that thing's still there.
Can you bring equilibrium?
Alright, so we want to go to the side
I
with
shall tip back the balance.
less of the lines attached to it, since there was more lines going that way, and off they go. Yeah. You have to watch for whichever side is going to have more weight essentially put onto it, and go to the opposite. Luckily, this is after they have learned, and well, people now come back after being knocked off horribly.
Sin must be balanced.
Alright, so this attack. You need to stack a light with a dark, and the person with one of the lights did not go to the person with the other dark. Otherwise you get, I think it's a vulnerability? Immunity? Something like that? Can you please turn her? Oh my gosh. The heck? Also, her song in English is called Equilibrium.
Daughter, be the bearer.
Alright, so now she is going to stay in place, but her daughter is going to do a laser attack across 1/3 of the arena. Tank really should not be facing it out that way. So I believe if she stays alive long enough, her followers will come back. Alright. She's doing a half arena dash again. To the opposite side. Thunder 2, just a clonal attack. And we're not being hit too, are we? ways are. So there's two going that way, one going this way. There's also a proximity going off. So let's go ahead and go down here. So the tipping in normal actually isn't nearly as bad as it is in extreme. I'm just gonna put that out there now. Yeah, the followers are starting to respawn there. Yeah, so the tipping of the arena is nowhere near as bad in normal as it is in extreme. It is very sharp and very harsh in extreme. She does a really cool arena though. It really does. Like, all the scales and all that. At least after 8 actions, she doesn't just cast Ultima. That's a FF6 thing. Yeah. I see the goddess is no more. Well done. Once Karl and Unuka-hai have rejoined us, we may safely depart. One thing yet puzzles me, however. How did Sophia's servants come to wake from their slumber? I believe we have the answer to that. Fuzz in my mouth. We discovered the remains of a Garlean soldier in an adjacent sector to the containment facility. It is likely the fool ventured too close to Sophia during the Empire's previous incursion and was enthralled for his troubles. Another reminder, if any were needed, as to the incalculable threat posed by these beings. The goddess would not even have been conscious when she claimed the man's will, yet his mistake granted her the means to release her servants. It would have resulted in her own liberation had we not been on hand to intervene. I did much wonder that the Icon's palm was capable of so effectively manipulating the facility's containment systems. How came he by such rarefied knowledge? That too is easily explained. During investigation, Karl discovered a subtle flaw in one of the mechanisms which held the goddess in check. A flaw which had plainly been added intentionally. Upon examining the facility's records of the period, we were able to piece together the story. It was a time towards the end of the Third Astral Era when the people of Mericidia faced extinction at the hands of the Allagan Empire. Sophia, a being of incomparable cunning, was said to have communicated certain plans to her servants through the medium of a trusted oracle. Following the oracle's instructions, they duly conspired with a rebel faction within Alec who, we believe, agreed to tamper with the prison intended for Sophia. Then the goddess and her thralls chanced to be captured, though we suspect that this had always been their plan. Indeed, the prison was situated at the heart of Alec, and we think they intended to attack the city from within. They would merely have had to wait for the rebels to exploit the weakness in their confines. But the conspirators' dealings with the Mericidians were exposed before they could enact their plot, and all were summarily executed. It seems that the flaw itself remained undiscovered, however, and might have remained so until the end of days had not been for the actions of the Archbishop and subsequently the Garleans. Can't help but wonder what might have come to pass had their scheme been successful. Maybe the answer lies in the prophecy. Karl hath the right of it. Its words may be deciphered thus. The cursed Paul speaketh of Sophia's prison, from which she was supposed to emerge at the agreed hour. The Worm King, meanwhile, could be none other than the great Bahamut himself, then yet a prisoner, whom the goddess did intend to unleash upon Alec to set right the scales of justice. A foolhardy plan. Had it come to fruition, the two of them would surely have razed the realm. Not would have been spared the devastation, the Mericidians' homeland included. Their home already stood on the brink of oblivion. Mayhap they wished for naught else but to purge the poison of Alec with primal fire. The tale teaches us that even the greatest of man's creations may yet be brought low by a single act of treachery. The Allagans were fools to place their trust in technological bondage. To shackle such beings is but to delay the inevitable, not save their total destruction shall free us from their menace. Now let us return now to the Rising Stones, and there consider the final step of this most needful task. The threat posed by this facility is far greater than you imagine, Ariane, and one not limited to the icons themselves. Sophia's remaining servants must be put down. Warning! Deactivating stasis chamber support systems will result in subject termination. Enter identification code to continue. Identification code accepted. Subject terminated. Well, I returned to the Rising Stones just for us to have to come back here for the extreme. It's odd and Miss Warrior of Light. Archonish Tola mentioned that there was a matter she wished to discuss. Well met, Arya. You will forgive me if I seem curt, but I would settle an account with our young friend. While conducting a final sweep of Sophia's containment facility, we discovered that all of her remaining thralls had perished in their stasis chambers. This was your doing? Aye, it was. I chose to act upon the knowledge revealed within the tombstone we recovered. The true purpose of these prisons is far more horrifying than we first assumed. The Elegans were not simply observing the icon and siphoning away their energies, they were conducting experiments and preparations for a far more ambitious project. If you'll recall, both the Fiend and the Goddess were imprisoned within massive spherical structures. These spheres were the prototypes which paved the way for the successful construction of an artificial celestial body. You speak of Dalamat. Aye, the Icon's cage is unmistakably of the same design as the Red Moon. To be plain, the research facility contains the seeds of 3 calamities which might feasibly be visited upon a chosen target. Limiting one of them necessitated the destruction of the goddess's slumbering thralls, a distasteful task unbefitting one such as the Warrior of Light. Thus did I resolve to perform the deed myself. You have made your case, and 'tis apparent that we were not in full possession of the facts. Nevertheless, your notion of what may or may not be expected of Arya is presumptuous in the extreme. When the Warrior of Light chose to join the Scions, she did so in the knowledge that she would be required to face and destroy not only the primals, but also their fanatical servants. That which you term a distasteful task is an essential part of our calling, a burden which every Scion is sworn to shoulder. I see. It would seem I misjudged the depth of your resolve. No matter, assuming I have made myself understood, we need not speak of it again. There is, however, one other subject which merits discussion. You determined that Sophia's thralls were awoken by a Garlean soldier who had somehow gained access to the containment area, did you not? If that is the case, it seems highly doubtful that the interloper wandered into such a dangerous part of the facility by chance. Dissidents within the Empire claim that the 6th Legion is rife with agents under its orders to thwart the Legatus' mission by any means necessary. Unless you imagine that we have allies in Garlemald, I should clarify that their motive is wholly uncharitable. Regula van Hydrus rose to the top of the Garlean military on merit alone, and is fiercely loyal to the Emperor for recognizing his efforts. His compeers, by contrast, rose to the favor of the established order, and would accordingly do anything to see him fall, whatever. That they would be so reckless. You truly believe that the actions of these agents contributed to the recent crisis? Aye, and that they pose no less a risk to the realm than those loyal to the Emperor. Plainly, we must needs continue to do all in our power to prevent the technologies of Alec from falling into the hands of man. On that point, at least, we have ever been in complete agreement. So we have 2 things to pick up here, but let's pick up a Deific Simulacrum. I would like you to have this, Warrior of Light. It is an elegant tombstone similar to the one we recovered after a victory over Sephiroth. The records contained within describe the goddess at the height of her power and will enable Aziz Law's reality augmentation technologies to generate an idealized simulacrum of Sophia against whom to test your skills. From what I've been able to determine, this formed part of a greater trial intended to test Alec's elite warriors. Quite how it will compare to the challenge presented by the Fiend's tombstone, I cannot say. Suppose there is only one way to be certain. Visit the verification node on Aziz Law and witness firsthand what awaited the champions of Eld. Chapter 3? Sophia. The goddess has fallen and only one pillar of the Warring Triad remains. According to the records we discovered upon Sophia's destruction, the Icon had once schemed to bring the Allegan Empire to ruin from within. The histories also spoke of her followers and how they perceived the ever-expanding Imperials an anathema of the world's balance. To the world's balance. Equilibrium is Sophia's domain. Her worshippers saw the righting of the scales as their sacred duty, and thus did they resist the Allegans' invasion with holy fervor. Never mind that the summoning of an icon did upset their precious balance all the more. The concept of balance is, however, of great interest to my master. A world must have both light and darkness, and a sudden surge of either will endanger its very existence. Upon our first meeting, my master spoke thus: I am not the light servant, but for the present I must serve. One cannot arbitrate equilibrium if one is not fluid of stance. The tenets of our justice are found not in light nor darkness, nor the gray shades in between. We but seek to enforce that which prevents the visitation of oblivion, to moderate the endless waves of war such that neither side claims victory. That is our charge. Wait, did I? Oh, there was one after that little solo instance too. The Guardian Empire 6 Legion has breached the core laboratories of Aziz Law's research facility, seeking to prevent the Imperials from extracting the Genesis expression. Warrior of Light and her allies pursued the legated and the soldiers and succeeded in denying him the vital formula. The Guardians claim their interest in primal harnessing technology comes from the desire to constrain the entity's wanton destruction. But while this purpose seems perfectly noble, such control would place the power of the gods in the hands of a select group of men. Who then might oppose the Emperor should he wish to sunder the world? And what guarantee prevents error and happenstance from setting the primals free? Ever would the threat of their accidental awakening loom above our heads. By harnessing a primal, one is also condescending and concentrating its vast energies. Upon the being's release, its long suppressed power and simmering rancor explodes with unimaginable violence. Would their potency increase far beyond that of the typical beastman summoned deity, the defeat of harnessed entities becomes exponentially more arduous. Such might can only be overcome with more might. Ultimately, the battle has no victor. When powers of this magnitude collide, they consume immense reservoirs of ether. The star will be drained of life before the clash can be decided, and all will crumble into oblivion. Alright, let's head back to Aziz Law again. Activating verification systems, enlistment program, request acknowledged, awaiting tombstone data. Data processed, adversary, Warring Triad, Sophia, threat level, extreme. As successful applicants will progress to elite squad induction to families, as unsuccessful applicants will receive 2 standard death benefits. Before initiating this program, elite squad applicants must agree to extensive physical Data corrupted. Unable to verify input. Applicant agreement accepted. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating enlistment program. The Empire thanks you for your service. Postmortem data will be used to improve the survival rates of subsequent applicants. Your sacrifice is appreciated. Containment Bay P1T6 Extreme, now accessible. Let's see if there happens to be a group. It's very doubtful. Yeah, there's not. So, on that note, I guess I now need to hunt down a Sophia group. But next time, we will go ahead and finish off Alexander! Woo! I'm actually really excited. I really, really love the last fight of Alexander, so... yeah. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoy it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps her keep making content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!